Your cottage in a dense, rainy woods. It's noisy with the sounds of your work. A fire crackles under a bubbling cauldron. Spoons stir the bowls of delicately handled ingredients. And your cookbooks and your magic books and books of all types rapidly flip through the pages. Amid the chaos, you pace, flipping through your own grimoire in desperate search for a list of ingredients you had the book open to. So clouded and panic, you don't hear the door creak open.
Was it truly necessary to buy so many of these things? You know, the scent of lavender makes me sneeze.
Ah, what a pity. Poor little raven can't even stand the smell of flowers. But yes, I'm afraid that one of the final ingredients is a bunch of fresh cut lavender. So you'll have to deal with it for. Oh,
Hmm? What are you... Oh,
indeed.
it appears our mage has worked themselves into quite a nervous fit.
It certainly looks to be the case. I haven't seen a magic flare like this in years, possibly decades. Look at all this.
Oh, I'm looking at it. Heck, it's near impossible not to look at it. Everything is everywhere.
I wish with all my being that I could say you were wrong, but by the deities, I have never seen such chaos outside the battlefield.
You've never been to a tavern past midnight, I take it.
Certainly not the ones you frequent.
There are times I forget how sharp your tongue can be, but you never fail to remind me.
A reminder every once in a while does you well, given how prone you are to flying too close to the sun. However, now is not the time to linger over that. Right now, there are bigger issues at hand.
Such as how close those levitating books are getting to the lit candles.
Well, yes, those are quite a problem, but my concerns lie mainly in the way our dear mage, this magic seems to be causing the floor to split in half.
Not just the floors, it appears. The walls seem to be involved as well.
Hells, but they are. We need to put a stop to this.
If there was one thing I didn't expect from today, it was to agree with you. But in this case, I think it would be stupid not to.
In most cases, it would be stupid not to agree with me, but that's not important right now. For now, let's focus on getting our mage back into their own head so their magic doesn't threaten to destroy the whole entire forest.
That would be quite unfortunate. I rather like our home here. Any suggestions, oh so clever wolf?
Well, the simple solution would be to simply walk up to them and catch their attention so we could direct them back into reality.
That might work, but it would be risky, given the chaotic state of the magic around us. Our mage could lose control of their magic, and we could easily be injured if that were to happen.
Yes, and that is why you're going to do it.
Truly, that's your plan? You just sacrifice me to the forces of wild magic like that? Would you, Wolfie?
Oh, don't act so surprised. You're the one of us who has wings. If there is to be a magic flare, you could dodge it better than I can.
This is because I ate the last of the strawberry tarts yesterday, isn't it?
Do you even have to ask? Of course it is.
Fine. If you'll finally quit being huffy about it.
I'll make no such promises.
You're impossible. You know that. Yes.
Thank you. I try to be.
Oh, shut up.
Not until you do what needs to be done.
Fine. Fine. I'm going. But if I get injured, you will be the one to tend to my wounds.
Fine. I can agree to that. Now go. I can see the storm clouds forming above us, which is particularly troubling, as I should be seeing the roof.
Patience, Wolfie. I'm going.
Well, go faster. The rain will ruin the rug.
You eat one tart. One, and you're punished for the rest of the week. I swear it. Ah!
Good reflexes there, bird.
Oh, shut up, won't you?
No, I don't think I will.
Mage, we've returned from the marketplace with everything you've asked. Mage, did you hear me? We've returned, and we've brought the lavender with us, as well as some honey candies that you like. Can you hear me, Mage?
Shoot!
Who's got the good reflexes now, Wolfie?
Haha, you're so funny.
Thank you, I try my best.
Hello, dear mage. Good to see that you didn't panic while we were away.
I swear, we leave only for a few hours, a mere fraction of the day. And what do we come back to? Absolute chaos. This house hasn't been this big of a mess since the harpies tried to steal all the copper pots and pans.
Oh, Raven is right, you know. Look at all this. Books are nearly tearing themselves apart. Candles are burnt nearly completely. There's wax all over the ground. The biggest surprise of all is how you haven't hurt yourself on any of the things you've sent floating throughout the house. If it were anyone else, I'm sure one of those jars would have crashed down on your head hours ago before we returned. You're lucky that fortune has blessed you so graciously.
No excuses. We specifically told you that there was no need to worry, and yet here we are. Come now, are you really so worried that we wouldn't get the right items?
Yes, we know that you weren't worried about us. We've been your familiars for so long. I'd be hurt if you were worried about giving us orders and us not being able to follow them.
But that doesn't mean that your reason for all this panic isn't any less foolish. Genuinely, I don't understand what you're worried about impressing the council when you're easily the most powerful mage that has come before them in generations. Deities above. You have both of us as familiars. 2 familiars. No one has heard of such a thing before you came along. Do you really think the council has any reason to declare you unfit to be recognized as a full-fledged mage of storm?
Raven has a point, dear mage, given your levels of skill and power. The council has no reason to deny you a formal title. In fact, they'd be fools to do so. Your powers are invaluable to maintaining the balance of nature, and no one can ignore that. They should require no further evidence than anything you've already done. You can create and destroy weather phenomenons everywhere. You help change the seasons. You have control over the skies above. You don't need to create some basic potion or cast a mediocre spell. Your abilities speak for themselves.
You know, mage, I can't begin to explain how frustrating it is to hear you talk so lowly of yourself. To us, it is merely common sense that you are a wonder of this world. Other people should recognize it as well, given how plainly evident your power is. And yet, here you stand, doubting yourself and what you are capable of. I swear to you, there is no reason to be so worried right now.
We know, and though we don't agree with your assessment of your skills, we still want to support you and do whatever is necessary to ease your mind. However, putting so much stress on yourself will do you more harm than good.
Exactly. You've been working yourself to exhaustion, trying to prove your worth. But everyone already knows of your skill and the practice you put into your craft. You have nothing to prove, not even to the council. But if you're going to keep working like this, you're not even going to be able to keep your eyes open during their assessment. Are you trying to joke right now? Because your punchline is falling quite flat with your audience.
An audience who is darn worried about you at this point, I might add.
A great point, Wolfie. Our emotions are tied to your own, mage. For better or worse, it means whenever you wear yourself down like a dulled, cracking blade, we feel the same way. Of course, we aren't mad about you for this. We became your familiars already knowing what would it all entail. But it is impossible to deny the effects of feeling your panic, exhaustion, and self-doubt. Haven't you noticed Wolfie's pacing at night? You know she paces when she is so worried she can't sleep. It's not helped by any of the fact that she doesn't like falling asleep when you're not in the room with us.
Of course, dear mage. You know that I hate the ideal of being far from you and being unable to protect you. Keeping you safe is part of my duty as your familiar, and it sets me on edge when I feel that I'm not doing my job properly.
Not to mention how your ears twitch and your fangs grow. It always gives you the worst headaches.
It does, yes. Though Raven, your own worried habits are just as bad. As all three of us have seen, Raven, your panic reaches a boil and you start to pluck your feathers out while you hum. It's a worrying sight. Now, don't you act like you don't have your own worrying habits, dear mage. Just like you were doing when we came in. Your mind slips away from you, and your magic goes with it. It makes for a wild danger that can lash out at any moment. Your mind is too far away to even notice. It makes my heart stop dead in my chest every time because I don't know what to do to help you.
It's terrifying, honestly. Because it's never been this bad before. It's usually once a season or so, when your responsibilities overwhelm you. We can handle it if it happens to you a night or two every once in a while. But this time, it's been more than a week, and all three of us are far too worn to let it continue anymore.
Our dear Bertie is right. None of us can continue this way anymore. Least of all you. Your eyes look so heavy. Your shoulders weighed down by the weight of the earth. You need rest, dear mage. And you can't put it off any longer.
No arguments. You are going to put down your grimoire and step away from your workbench. This moment, mage, because none of us can wait to rest anymore.
Keep this memory in your mind, because this is the one of the few times I'm going to openly agree with Raven without making a joke at his expense. But it's just as Raven said, you need a break, and so do we. And there's no better way to restore our energy than by taking a nap. There's days before the council shows up. Dear mage, trust us. We have time. The couch is right there. The blankets are warm. And the storm sounds like your heartbeat. Now come on. Just give in and come cuddle. And come on, Raven, or I will leave you without anyone to cuddle.
Oh, come on, Wolfie. You know you wouldn't do that to me. You like using my wings as a blankets. Too much to kick me out.
Maybe so, but don't test your luck too much. There's other blankets that backtalk far less than you do.
How rude.
Oh, Only as much as you are.
Are you hearing this, mage? Absolute slander.
I don't think our maid can hear you over the sounds of your rustles.
My apologies.
Well, look at that. Dear mage, your eyes are already drifting closed, and you tried to tell us you weren't tired. Seems like your lie isn't holding up here.
It didn't at all, though I'm sure we're not too far behind, given how your ears and tail are starting to relax as well. It makes you look much, much more relaxed than normal, if you ask me.
Are you trying to say I don't normally look relaxed?
No, I'm saying normally you look stoic and somewhat mean.
Who's being rude now?
Me. But is that really a surprise at this point?
I'd be more surprised if you weren't. Of course, my dear mage, if you want to pet me while we drift off, be my guest.
Then move closer, Wolfie. You need to get under my wings so they can reach. You know, I think this is exactly what all of us needed.
I would say that I agree. But I worry that if we agree on too many of the same things in one day, we might set off Armageddon.
I'd say you're right. But that'd be agreeing with you.
Then why don't we just lie here in silence until sleep claims us? If we were to start the end of the world right now, we'd be far too tired to survive any of it. So I think we might as well sleep and put it off for another day.
If you insist, I suppose. For now, I'm just gonna lay my head here on Mage's shoulder and plan to steal your breakfast tomorrow, Wolfie.
Not if I steal yours first.
Well, we'll have to see about that, won't we?
Perhaps we shall.